Shabbat Shalom again. This Shabbat, as you know, is called Shabbat Shuvah, the Shabbat of returning, repentance, but really return or returning. And it gets its name from the Haftarah from this Shabbat that opens with the words Shuvah Yisrael, return Yisrael. Do this work of getting back to the best of whom you can be. And in that process, create fulfillment, create shalom, create shlemut, create something new. Maimonides, on that theme, offers, in my estimation, a much more practical directive. He says, and you probably know this from the Yom Kippur liturgy, awake you sleepers from your sleep. Wake up. Literally. You're going through life asleep. And you can stay that way, or you can wake up. Open your eyes, see the power in your hands to turn, to change, to do better, to be better. And Maimonides says, in doing that, you become someone new. A rebirth. He's really clear about that. It's an incredibly powerful idea. And he goes on in his varied and extensive application of a directive for how to perform teshuvah to say, this choice of waking up is available to anyone at any time so long as they are alive and conscious. So it's never too late in this lifetime to wake up. This Shabbat Shuvah has become in our community a wonderful opportunity to hear from congregants, family members here who demonstrate that awakening in their own lives, personally, professionally, in small ways, and in large ways. And when Jack Weinberg shared a story that I think he'll share with you this evening with me, which I shared with our clergy team, we knew he was the right person to share with us this Shabbat Shuvah of his own experiences. They inspired me and our team, and I know they will inspire you. Raise your hand if you know Jack Weinberg already. Great. If you're a regular, you know Jack, Sheila, the whole gang. And if you're not a regular, you will know Jack Weinberg upon the conclusion of his remarks this evening. It is my pleasure to invite Jack forward to offer us his words.
Thank you.
Oh, you brought props. This is so good. It's so good. Yeah, I know. Is this about right for you, Jack?
Sure.
Okay.
I haven't grown lately.
Yeah.
Shana Tova and Shabbat Shalom. I'm good. You don't realize, normally most of you who are here a lot know that I sit in the front row, and you don't realize just how big a distance it is from there up here. In the past few years, I began a process that has helped me focus on who I am, who I want to be, and how to get there. To accomplish these tasks, I had to first examine how I got here. I am the youngest son of two very accomplished parents and four likewise amazing grandparents. I have felt inspired and in some ways pressured by expectations to be as accomplished as all of them and my brothers. I have often judged myself by their examples of performance. Many of their goals became my goals in my desire to fit in, and more importantly, to feel worthy. There did not seem to be an option in my mind to saying no and risk that someone would be disappointed in me. If I was a success in others' minds, certainly I was truly successful. I evaluated myself by the things I was doing. At one point, I was the soccer guy, playing, coaching, refereeing. Then I was the film and video guy working in the business and starting my own company. For many years, not quite over yet, I have been the hockey guy, playing, coaching, refereeing, and administering. Thank you. I am a son, husband, father, grandfather, friend, and the like. I have become more of a Jewish guy over the years. But the truth is, what a friend explained to me when I was going through a tough time in the industry and feeling that my life was a failure. Each of these things was just things that I do, not who I am. He was in bed, dying of leukemia at MD Anderson when he called to see how I was doing. It was a light bulb moment for me. Who I am is not only a combination of all of my activities, but what I aspire to be. It is a personal choice. I realized at some point that many of the things I did out of habit had become a burden. Even those things that were once terribly important to me lost their luster and importance. I decided that I needed an unbucket in which to place these items. The opposite of the unbucket would on the surface appear to be the bucket list. So I just wanted you to know, this is my bucket for a bucket list. Or you can keep this to keep the candy after the Euphrifs. This is my newer bucket, my unbucket list. And now I have to find my place again. That bucket is assumed to be the place where an individual can deposit their personal desires and aspirations. I'm not so sure about that. I think that other people have added their own expectations and needs, and to my eye, their needs, their lists, parents, friends, children, organizations seem to drop items into our buckets when we're not looking. Over time, we think we always wanted these items, but under closer inspection, we realize we have assimilated them into our DNA. As we get older and we start to question what is really important, we reevaluate what is in the bucket. We sometimes find that there's no room left for new items, and I contend that as we get closer to the end of our lives, the bucket actually gets smaller. And as the years march by and our strengths wane, it continues. We can see that some of the items are no longer viable, or even more importantly, we have moved past the need to run around just doing what we have always done for years. We have lost intentionality and just perform tasks out of habit. We need to have a process where we transfer some of these things into our unbucket. The truth is, just like every new day, we have a choice as to what we find important. We must decide what is a priority on the list. We can and should reevaluate it on an ongoing basis. I listened to a motivational speaker many years ago who said, life should be a series of small course corrections and not quantum changes. How many times have we made major resolutions and given up in short order because we get overwhelmed by the immensity of the task? Remember the lesson of the man who said, and remembered where he was. Remember the lesson of the man who said he would give his life to his faith if the sage could tell him what it meant to be Jewish while he stood on one foot. The sage answered, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now go study. The man wanted to understand everything in a single moment in time, and what he got was a goal and all the rest of his life to accomplish it. We look for fast answers instead of instead. Think of it like losing weight through a diet and exercise. Every day you are faced with the decision about what you eat and if you exercise. If you eat a little bit more one meal, then you eat less the next one and spend some more time exercising. Both of the buckets need to be balanced and maintained. Fill the unbucket one by one with the things and habits that hold you back from the goals and prioritize the positive things in your aspirational bucket: your health, your family, your community, and perhaps most importantly, your peace of mind. In the past several years, I have reevaluated my approach to Judaism. It was a legacy placed in my bucket by my family with an expectation that I would go to high holiday services, bar mitzvah my children, support a temple, and be philanthropic toward Jewish causes. While I continue that legacy, those things have become a joy rather than a responsibility. I now do those things along with studying Torah and Talmud and being involved with the Jewish community. I am intentionally a Jew and have begun to understand by expecting more from myself, I have grown in my appreciation of others. It allows me to celebrate the joy and satisfaction I take in the heritage and the lessons they teach. As we approach Yom Kippur, I think of my choices. I can hide in the busy routine that distracts me from facing the truly important choices that I have, or I can make room in my aspirational bucket for choosing my own authentic path and move the rest into my unbucket. I think I'm going to need a bigger unbucket. Shabbat Shalom. Shana Tova. You got to watch the bucket.
That was amazing. It was beautiful, Jack. Let's leave them out for everybody, and we can all use them.
You can use them.
We'll use them actively on this Shabbat. There we go. Jack, thank you so much for not just sharing with us. I think as I shared with you when inviting you to this evening to speak, what I think is a really attainable, understandable practice for everyone that you created yourself. But more importantly, I just want to thank you for modeling what community can really be, which isn't just surface hellos and Shabbat shaloms, but actually in a community that is a spiritual one, offering each other insights into the deepest parts of our lives. Because my guess is that there was something in Jack's words that resonated deeply with every person here. We all live lives that are deeper than we present on the surface, lives of aspiration, lives of habit, and we live in the tension in between. And you're sharing not just of the great moments, but of the challenges and your journey through them is an inspiration to me, certainly, and I think to everyone here who's been lucky enough to get to listen to you. Thank you so much. Shana Tova. So